Best of R / Tales from Retail episode 121. Subscribe for edit videos daily. My little gas station convenience store is placed near the edge of a busy metropolitan downtown area that has been experiencing protests, looting, riots and general mayhem. We're far enough away that management hasn't stopped our open 24 hours policy. Besides, having someone always manning the store means less likelihood that an opportunistic theft will try to break in while the cops are busy elsewhere, as has happened at other gas stations. What's so precious to be found at a tiny little shop mart amongst the soda, chips and candy, cigarettes, smokes of all sizes, shapes and colors? The boss has started stocking all manner of tobacco products, since they're our #1 seller, now that the lockdown has kept people home, bored, and or stress out. You would not believe the amount of people who lament as I hand over their packs. And I was trying to quit too. So, is a little thing like rioting and tear gas going to break that habit? Oh, hell no. Last week, as the only associate on duty, I was ordered to take an extra precaution and locked the main doors as soon as we got word that the city was imposing a curfew. Then opened the night teller window early to conduct business. Not at curfew. I locked the doors before curfew, because the general manager knew something that I didn't, and that was, under such extreme circumstances, citizens are going to go into a cigarette stampede. Those few hours were the busiest I'd been in months, with watching the looks of panic cross some people's faces when they tried to open the glass doors, to the profound relief when I waved them to the service window to sell them their daily fix of nicotine. There was even a moment of humanitarian relief when I let a homeless woman come in and shop for food for her community before the streets had to be cleared. Actually, I knew she was going to be confused and pay in fistfuls of change, so it was just easier to let her gather her items and take her time counting her coins inside, rather than to have her holding up the line outside. She totally understood, then unbeknownst to the queue, I snuck her out the fire door. It so felt like being in the French underground snort. Good thing I'm a vet and know how to manage crowd control. Thank you. Next. The lady with the mental disability. Not the worst thing that's happened to me, but I just need to vent, so beware that this story is long. And I'm still confused about the whole ordeal. So I had this lady come in at our self-checkout at my place of work. Full card load, by the way. Everything was fine until she said there was a problem with the prices. She said that she was a war vet and had a disability where she couldn't remember stuff easily. She's been a problem customer in the past, I later found out, but at the time this occurred, I wasn't aware that she was problematic. Caused one of our employees to cry because her card was declined. Anyways, she started pointing out all of these items, over 10 individual items, that weren't the correct price. I wasn't aware that these items were on a buy 5 save $5 deal course. There's so many items that qualify, so that was a my bad on my part. But she couldn't tell me what the discounts were for on the items, and I was trying so hard to help her cause I felt bad that these items weren't ringing up right. I advised maybe making a simple list so that it'd be easier on the cashiers so that we could fix it easily. Cause we weren't going to go around the whole store looking for the discounts of her items. The minute I said that, she took out her phone and started recording me. I didn't know what to do, but she said that it was so that she could remember this, and I just repeated what I said about making a list. She said she was shocked at what I said, and in no way whatsoever was she berating me or being mean, more of like a passive-aggressive sort of way. I didn't know what to do in this situation. After the fact, I went up to my PIC's, person in charge, and told them what happened, cause I was baffled. My pick had to go over and tell her to not record employees as it is an invasion of our privacy. She was understanding and was taking to my pick for a while. Afterwards everything was fine. She wasn't mad or anything. Then came the loyalty program problem. Our servers for the rewards card numbers were down, so she couldn't enter in her number to get the rewards point on her transaction. There was nothing I could do but tell her to wait a bit before they come back up, use the physical card, or bring in the receipt the next time she came in and apply her number. This made her very agitated. I apologized and said there's nothing I could do. She said, well, because I wasted 40 minutes of my time, you could just give me a $20 gift card, right? But said it in all seriousness. Or you could just give me a discount on all my items. I didn't know what to say about that, so I told her I'd get her my manager cause I couldn't outright tell her number. And thankfully she agreed. I called that same pic to come deal with her, and the lady was claiming we were stealing from her, when in reality she was stealing from us cause of the items that were stashed under her reusable bags that we found later. She got up in my PIC's face and started recording again saying this is going on Facebook. Immediately my pic called our mod manager on duty, and he came to deal with her. He was there for around 10 minutes talking to her, and at that time, the rewards number server was back online, so that worked. But her card got declined. After all that, her card was being declined and she was pissed. She was trying to call her bank to get the information, but she couldn't get a hold of anybody. She said that my mod knew she had money by what it said was on her bank account, and that he could fix it. He said, "No mom, I can't do that, I have to go by the system." She took out her phone one last time to start recording the PICs, one of them being the one that was trying to help her, and my mod stepped in front of her telling her to not record his employees. She walked out with a thumbs up saying nice management or something along the line of that. She wasn't even telling the camera that we were bad. She was saying we were nice and stuff, but it was just really weird and confusing. I'm so sorry for this long story, but this all took place in the span or maybe under an hour. It was the first time I had a customer start trying to record me. I felt very uncomfortable and didn't know what to do and just needed to vent. But hey, at least I got off early because of it, haha. I hope you all liked my story. Thank you. Next. A bit of backstory. This happened roughly a year ago now, way before the lockdown. I was working in a small chain corner store about a 5-minute walk away from my house. I don't live in an unsafe area per se, but it's not really the kind of place you could leave your bike out in front of your house either. Basically, people will steal and the people who smoke pot don't even try to hide it despite the illegality of it. So I got to see a lot of not so nice people, including a regular who we'll call entitled woman, EW. This woman would come in just to buy cans of alcohol and scratch cards. Once she even called me and my manager cunts because we wouldn't let her in past closing time. What did she want to buy? Tobacco. That's it, just some tobacco. But this is a different story. On Sundays we weren't allowed to sell any alcohol after 10 due to the limitations on the license the store held. Every other day was fine, just not Sunday. We never had a problem with this other than some people rolling their eyes, but I never had any arguments. Until one evening, at around 10:45 p.m. the EW comes in and tries to buy a bottle of wine. I told her that we couldn't serve alcohol, expecting her to just sigh and put it back, but oh number. She was adamant that I just made this rule up out of the blue just to spite her. EW, I bought alcohol from here at this time before. Other people serve me. Apostrophe. Obviously I am a little shocked at this point, but I go on to reiterate why. I explain the alcohol rules, but she still argues. Apparently she does buy alcohol this late on Sundays all the time. This is a lie. I always worked Sunday evenings and never served her that late. She starts to get livid and demands I call the manager. I do just that, and of course, my manager says the same thing. At this point, we have a line and I am getting angry. The store closes in 15 minutes. I still have to do a quick clean and we have to count the cash in the tills, but this woman is holding up everything. Me, I can't serve you the alcohol. If I scan it through the till then it will be saved on our system that I sold alcohol illegally. I could get fined, fired, and it'd be on record for the rest of my life. EW, ugh, fine. I'll leave the money here and you can scan it through in the morning. I have enough money. My manager and I are just gobsmacked. She really thought that she could just bypass the law like that? It was honestly ridiculous. Luckily it didn't take long for her to get the memo and leave, but she did leave in a huff. She didn't shout or scream, but I did hear her mutter for fuck's sake as she left. I just can't believe the entitlement of this woman. I was only 19 at the time and she wanted me to risk my job and getting a criminal record just so she could have a bloody bottle of wine. She even came in the next day when I wasn't working and never apologized to my manager about the horrible way she acted. Thank you. Next. To start off, I work for a company that starts with W and ends with Mart. One morning I was working freight in my department, lawn and garden. From the truck that came the afternoon before when a lady comes up to me asking where the bikes are and if we have any in my area. Our bike assemblers build bikes on the patio area of my department, so sometimes we have bikes sitting around. I told her that we don't have any in my area, and assuming she already checked Sporting Goods, the department where bikes are usually sold at, told her that we didn't have any assemblers there that day, so the most I could do was sell her one still in the box. She asked if we keep them anywhere else, so I took her over to Sporting Goods and showed her the bare shelves that the completed bikes are usually on. Her response was, "I don't see any bikes here, where are they?" To which I replied, "It appears they're all sold out." Her reply to that was, "Okay, so where are the bikes?" To which I said that we didn't have any in the store and I don't know when we're getting more built. To which she replies, "I get that, but where are the bikes?" To which I said there are none. We went back and forth with this at least 10 times before she grunts and goes, "Okay, where are they usually kept?" We were literally standing in the aisle with all the special racks for holding them, so I genuinely have no idea how she missed that. So I showed her the labels, and as she was looking I quickly made my escape. The stupidity of some people. Thank you. Next. I used to work in a vintage clothing retail store. One shift I was working night, finishing at 9 p.m. It was around 8:30 p.m. so we were starting to clean up the store and get ready to close when a lady walked in and started looking around. I went up to her and did the usual welcome spiel and explained the sales we had running and whatnot. Anyway, she was a bit strange and didn't seem to entirely comprehend what I was talking about. So I left her to browse and kept cleaning. She then brought a red backpack up to me that she said she really liked, explained how much she likes red and that she thought the bag was perfect for her. I said that's great, and she brought it to the register and bought it. She left the store happy with her new purchase, but returned about 15 minutes later right before we closed with the bag again. She suddenly exclaimed that she doesn't like red and doesn't want the bag anymore and wanted a refund. My store doesn't offer refunds or returns unless an item is faulty, and it wasn't, but we can do exchanges for an item of equal value. So I explained this to her and said that this policy is outlined on the wall behind the register as well as on her printed receipt. She didn't seem to process what I was saying, even though I was offering her to swap the bag for something she liked more. She wasn't angry or anything, just persistently asked for a refund which I couldn't provide. She ended up refusing the exchange, and just said, "I don't want the bag, you can keep it." She gave it back to me and didn't choose another item to swap it with. She just left. So we put the bag in our staff room after insisting she held onto the receipt in case she changed her mind and wanted to come back for it. I don't think she ever came back to get her bag or another item. Very odd. Thank you. Next. Returning to work has kind of reminded me of this. This happened at least a year ago, sometime in the summer. It's a bit of a paraphrasing of things, because my memory isn't always the best on specifics. My town is a bit of a tourist attraction, especially downtown, so we're used to getting tourists during the season, and sometimes they stop in the store for this and that. The benefit of being an international off-price store, I guess. Anyways, sometimes the out-of-towners will ask for directions, or recommendations for places to eat. The visiting parents of the university students do that too. It's something I can do, so it's okay. The time a lady asked about tourist attractions though, that took me by surprise. The store is located in the suburbs, quite a drive from downtown and all the attractions. And honestly, it had been a long time since I played tourist in my own home. Like, why would I? I live here, so I don't really know the tourist information. But trying to help customers is part of my job description. So, I suggested some of the typical tourist attractions. No. Reaction. It was like she was waiting for me to pull out some personalized planned itinerary just for her, acutely aware that I probably had towels to fold. There are always towels to fold. I politely told the lady that for more up-to-date information, she should probably go to the tourist information center. But what about my children? What things are there for them to do? Me, internally sighing, Mom, I don't have children, so I'm sorry but I don't know. But the tourist information center will have the information you're looking for. I told her where to find it downtown, and then somehow made my escape. I think by pretending I was being called over the headset or being actually called over the headset. Did she go to tourist information center? I don't know and I don't care. I'm just kinda miffed that someone would think to bother a retail worker about tourist info. Like, I'm pretty sure most people don't know that kind of information for the places they live. So, why? Anyhow, enjoy the read. Thank you. Next. I work at a gas station and tonight some homeless guy comes into the store, grabs a 6-pack of Mike's Hard Lemonade, a few bags of chips, a burrito, and asks if he can pay with his account, so I said yes, assuming he had a card or Apple Watch, and I ring it all up and bag it. I tell him the total and he puts his wrist on the card reader and says beep and runs out the door. Then a few minutes later he comes back and asks for a pack of smokes, and I try and stall him by telling him the register is down and he tries to pay with ditchweed and pills. So he leaves again and I lock the door so I can call the cops to make a report. He comes back again as soon as the cops show up and hides in the bathroom for a good 10 minutes. The cops talk to him and he tells them he can pay for stuff with his hospital wristband on his account.